Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic 2006. It is train time, oh boy! Will this be as much of a headache as it was for Sonic? Well, no, because we don't have a Mark Speed section, isn't that grand? Instead we start up here, skipping the first section of Sonic as well. We can actually reach this platform as Sonic with using gems. There is no point to it, but it is always there, so that's fun. The gimmick for this level here, at least at the first part, is that we have these scales and they can be influenced by the boxes. There's also a handy reset button here, and that just makes another box spawn, which usually happens all the time, so good on them for programming that correctly, I guess. It's not bad, I don't hate it, we're gonna see a little bit more of it. But first we're gonna see something else, which I have failed to use before. I could have used this all the time. It's this move. I double tap the R trigger, which is the normal psychokinesis button, and Silver hovers a little bit above the ground, becoming immobile, and he picks up everything around him, which is exactly as it said when I bought the upgrade, but I didn't know the button combination. I actually had to ask the speedrunners for advice once again, and I looked in the manual and it just says that, but you know who looks at manuals. And also this is the one move that doesn't have an in-game tutorial because, you know, it is not necessary at all. It's also in fact kind of useless, but it's there, that's fun. I don't know why this box is here, usually is not. No, can't explain it, but hey, that made this a bit easier. You're going to see in the S rank run that it's not always this easy. Whoa. This is actually a bit of a trouble spot. It is harder than it looks like, and I appreciate that they put this here. You only need this box if you fail at the conveyor part and have trouble adjusting it. Here you see why the move is useless, by the way. It locks you in place and you only pick up the first portion of missiles or other projectiles, and that hopefully is enough. It wasn't this time because you really can't reach the top robot, so that's a bit weird. Anyway, almost did that really cool, but well, most of these puzzles are solved by just throwing the box away. The other one, if you do not get the wooden box, is a little bit harder. This one here is a bit more interesting, but I don't know if they are counted for you being able to pick up the box underneath you. Makes this rather easy. I don't quite know what the intent is. It would probably be slow and boring, so I'm not going to find out because this works quite well. And I think this is one of the strengths of Silver after all. If you know how he works and are willing to play around a little bit, then you can do a lot of stuff in the levels which may or may not have been intended, but it's always fun. There's something weird with these boxes here. You need to use them to destroy that. That's not the weird part. The weird part is that if you destroy some of the boxes, then ring boxes spawn underneath them, and I don't know why. It's really weird. Like, there is no box here and then it appears, and you're going to see another box in the corner where clearly there wasn't one before. Here, yeah, you see it here. It's really strange, and it happens when you destroy some of the boxes. Okay, that's it. Anyway, the wooden things, to destroy them is surprisingly difficult. I'm going to struggle a lot with that, and I hate it. I don't know why I got the radical bonus here, because it's not like I took out a leader enemy. There are some rules with how many enemies you destroy at once, and I think it's just that I literally destroy them at once. Another ring box here. And sometimes you don't. Like, you can try to throw them as one projectile, because you know that's the other upgrade for Silver I bought, which I actually do use all the time, the single layered extreme. But sometimes it just doesn't register them as being destroyed like literally the same frame or something. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes you get dropped off boxes. Hey, it's a free upgrade for his bar. Don't know why it would be here, but okay. And these are the laziest Silver medals I've ever seen in this game. It is just like two of them on these conveyor belts, one after another, and there is a third one to the right in a second. That's brilliant. It just didn't come up with any more ideas for this part, because obviously this is recycled. Like, Shadow has his own mission regarding the train, a really stupid one, and Sonic has his mission saving the train and the Mark Speed part. What does Silver do? Well, it just goes to the end, so that means that they cut out the Mark Speed section and they cut out everything regarding the actual train part. So what has he left? A few conveyor belts, I guess. And I mean, they tried with the scales. I appreciate that. It's not bad, but this part is just yeah, I mean, he's just running the same path as Sonic does, but it's less interesting. This is the one tough part of the level. as you could see here, because these guys here, their missiles are vicious. The yellow robots, they aim for you really hard. I mean, this one was a bit of a bad example, but it's actually quite easy to get tagged by them in the air, which is a bad thing if you want to keep your rings, and this is pretty much what cost me the S rank, because the S rank for this level is basically just keeping your rings. It's a nice balance again between points and time and rings. Which we are going to see later on, but I think I could have gotten everything at once if I didn't get hit there, but I digress. So I'm trying to teleport dash a little bit here, but it's not the only thing I'm trying, I just can't pull it off right now. I'm going to show you during the denouement of the S rank run what I mean. For now, let's keep in mind that there is a little bit of a secret to the teleport dash, which is 1000% not intended. It's something to do with why I just attacked in the air. Anyway, moving on. This is a little bit dumb, because the Silver can't just attack him, and I mean the game knows that you have the upgrade. It 1000% requires it, and it tutorialized you again, so just use the Psy Shock. It's fine. It's not like an exploit. Obviously the game wants you to do that. I love that you can pick up the minecart here, that's really cool. I tried going for the grab all again, but it's just bad. Like, there is a reason why I never realized it exists, because there is literally no use case for it. Maybe with a barrage of missiles fired at you. But for example, the Iblis monsters, as we're going to see in Aquatic Base, the next level, they give you no opportunity. They just fire singular projectiles all the time. There is absolutely no reason for you to just grab everything. By the way, you did notice that there is another wave of enemy that spawned in, and they didn't open the door, because, you know, you have to open the door yourself, and these shovels don't do anything, and it's just... Jesus Christ, this is terrible. I hate this part. But anyway, what did the enemies do? Well, they spawned the silver medal behind the door. This is actually quite fun. So if you do engage with the combat, which is optional, you can just ignore the crab robots on the walls. But if you actually do take the time to kill all of them, then more robots spawn in. If you kill those, then you get the last silver medal of the level. So that's nice. I like these kind of puzzles for silver. It's quite nice. Anyway, as we can see here, about 60 more rings, and I would have gotten the S rank. I don't think it would have quite worked out like that, but a little bit faster as well if I don't look for silver medals, and we'll get it, but that's for the S rank video. For now though, we do have a little bit of a cutscene where finally Silver actually catches up with Sonic and starts affecting the plot again after a lot of diversions. See you afterwards.
I knew it! I knew you'd return. You had to.
Huh. You again. This time, there will be no more interruptions. The Iblis trigger must die.
Sonic.
So how was your little walk?
Elise! Ah! It's time to end this. Who? Nephilis! Why are you getting in my way?
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog.
If you like trains, like the video. And who doesn't like trains, so expect like 20 likes at the end. Come on guys, come on, get it together. Anyway, S-Rank. I'm not going to show the S-Rank run at the very first thing. I'm going to show off parts of attempts to S-Rank runs. And part of that attempt was this. This is an extended teleport dash. It's a speedrun technique, which is a frame-perfect trick with a game running at 59.94 frames, or let's say 60 frames per second. It's not easy. And trying to do it gets me killed more often than not, but sometimes it works, and it looks pretty damn cool. This one, for example, trying to do a Psycho Shock in the air, it's not so good. How does the trick work, and why do I keep trying to do it? Well, it does make Silver dash much, much further and much faster. It's basically the only way to get him to anywhere quickly. This is why I keep trying for it, but it doesn't always work because of the frame perfection. Basically what you do is interrupt the dash end animation with an attempted attack animation or something, and it has to have a certain timing. It is 1/16 of a second or something afterwards. So a few frames. You can't push the buttons at the same time. There has to be a certain delay, and if you do that, then Silver shoots forward like a silver bullet, and it's great. I love it. I wish you could do this all the time. That I can't do it all the time at all. Like I've tried a few times. Like 5 minutes. I got like 10 times maybe. It's difficult. And here is why the box is important, by the way. But it's fun. You can try it if you're playing Silver. Another attempt at the grab ball. A little bit more effective this time, but well, the follow-ups they got me hit, but it was a little bit better. Here you can see that I retried. Anyway, but it's something fun to play around with. But you know, if you can't pull it off, then it might just get you killed. So buyer beware, caveat emptor. And yeah, you can just skip this, by the way. You can just fly here and you don't have to bother with the scale at all. This is why only the second scale is somewhat interesting, but you can see there is a few ways to fix this. This is probably the last time in the level where you should be getting hurt, because there weren't that many rings beforehand, and a loss is not that critical right now, but it's going to become very critical later on. I feel like this should have destroyed the wall. Like, such a big robot, but you know, it just never works. And the exploding box, it also never works. It's just, I hate these walls. It makes no sense to me. Why is it so hard to knock them down? Like, you have to get a certain amount of force, I guess, but how to get the said force is just absolutely arcane to me. It makes zero sense. Another successful attempt at the points, by the way. I'm not showing it, but it didn't work like 5 times in a row. You just take my word for it. Anyway, probably the fastest way to get by here is also taking the conveyor belts, because you know Silver is not fast unless he's being propelled by an outside source. And that is why I have to destroy the crab robots to uncover the spring, and then it's basically the same thing as for the normal run, with the exception that the conveyor belts were against me this time, so I skillfully glide to land in the middle. That's the skill part here. The other parts are relatively, well, you know, you're not missing much by me not going through the middle. There is one glide, like to the left here, which is surprisingly tough. Like, wow, that is very close, and they do not have an extension box in the middle. And of course here, these dudes extremely tough, so I'm just booking it. Yeah. Again, I'm trying for the extended teleport dash. Yeah, it's not that easy. While we're here, there is actually another version of it, the hyper extended or super extended teleport dash. Correct me if I'm wrong, speedrunners that might be watching, where you hold down the button instead of tapping it. But you can't do that if you have the Psycho Shock, because Silver will override any sort of glitchy action with just slamming to the ground. This is what got me killed in one of the reels at the start. And that means that if you do buy the Psycho Shock bracelet, you screw yourself out of the super duper version of it, which gets you really far. And I'm not gonna be able to show it off. But first of all, I probably couldn't do it anyway, because it is really tight. You have to spend a lot of practice on it. And second of all, Psycho Shock is so useful as a casual player that I would not want to miss it anyway. Where did this guy come from? Anyway, I'm pointedly not destroying all of the crab robots, because otherwise more of the other robots would spawn. And also, I just want to destroy this damn door. And it is just not working. And oh my god, finally! And I hate this so much. There must be a way to get this consistent. But this is my second recording at the S rank. I lost the first one because of dumb storage, hard drive storage issues. So I was just quite happy with this one, and to be done with the level. It's like, it's fun. I don't mind this level. It's fine, but it doesn't lend itself well to replays at all. Seamless splicing in of the initial gold medal animation. That's from last video. And I will leave you with a few more successful attempts at the extended teleport dash. These are the only ones on camera. You're welcome, and thank you very much for your attention.